I finally came back today from watching Spider-Man Brand New Day. You can literally argue it being on the same hype level as Avengers Doomsday. Like, this movie was hyped as fuck. Since like last year when pictures from the set were being released, people on Twitter and internet in general were going crazy just from set pics. So obviously I had to go and watch it. Supergirl and Spider-Man were the two movies where I was like, I have to go watch it. And let's not talk about Supergirl. So yeah, I finally came back from watching Spider-Man Brand New Day. If you remember my Spider-Noir review, I said Spider-Noir is the best live action piece of media. Brand New Day has the potential to challenge it for its place. In my opinion, they both are like equal. Like, I loved Spider-Noir. That was a very fucking good show. But yeah, Brand New Day, super fucking good movie. Easily my favorite Spider-Man movie. This movie showed us what Spider-Man is supposed to be. Why I like him as a character. You know, the grounded stuff, the friendly neighborhood stuff. I've been a Spider-Man fan since 2010 when I was fucking 5 years old. That was 16 years ago. Like, I've been Spider-Man fan for 16 years. And I've always liked Spider-Man for the reasons such as, like, you know, he's actually in the streets. He's helping average people like you and me. Your bike got stolen. Spider-Man is here to help you. And that's why I also loved Spider-Man Homecoming when it came out. I remember I was in 8th grade when Homecoming came out, and I remember loving that movie so much because that was also a very grounded movie. That movie also focuses on, like, you know, street level stuff, high school Spider-Man, friendly neighborhood Spider-Man. I'll admit it's a little bit different from what I expected. Like, I was expecting like an action focused movie, but it's more emotional focused. Think like Thunderbolts. Kind of like Thunderbolts, but it has way more action than Thunderbolt. Action is still like the second biggest thing in the movie. The number one is the emotional themes and setting. I'm gonna go into the spoiler category. My spoiler reviews like movie slap, 9 out of 10 for me. But now I'm gonna get into the spoiler categories. Like I was saying, the emotional theme and such. There is no such final fight against Jean Grey. The final fight we get is literally Spider-Man destroying the hand easily. As soon as he gets control of his power, he just destroys the hand in like 3 seconds. The finale is literally focused around on the emotional stuff. You know, Jean Grey invading Spider-Man's mind and then getting comforted by Aunt May, and then Jean and Peter relating to each other and making a connection. How they've been alone from the people they love. Like Sadie Sink, who's playing Jean Grey's character, her sister was taken away and then eventually killed during experiments. Spider-Man, who obviously lost everyone because everyone forgot about Peter Parker. So these characters who spent last good years of their life all alone, you know, them bonding over each other. So this is basically the main focus of the movie. The overall story was actually very good. Like, I very much like it. I don't think I really have any problem with this story. The main focus of the movie is basically like Peter's power and his isolation. As soon as the movie starts, they made it clear he has not made any kind of connections with anyone. He doesn't even try to get back together with MJ and Ned. He does work from time to time with Frank, aka Punisher. Except for that, he's like solo. This feeling of isolation and his depression and everything is actually affecting his powers. The arachnid DNA inside him, it starts to take over. Literally in the first scene, they made it clear. As soon as he sees the letter he was supposed to give to MJ, he starts to feel pain in his hand and he's like, what the fuck is going on? And then later when he actually meets Ned and MJ and then he realizes MJ has a girlfriend, like his mind gets all fucked up and then his power just explodes. He just completely transformed. He gets the organic webbing. His senses, which are already insane, have turned up to like 100. Even a Chips rapper is like super loud to him. So he starts to crash out. He becomes very angry. Every time new powers take control, his eyes literally go black and he becomes like very angry. He almost killed a police officer. And then at the end, he finally meets Jean Grey. He finally finds someone else he can relate to. I love that very much, the way they did the Jean Grey and Aunt May stuff. In Jean Grey flashback, they showed us that both Jean and her sister Sarah, they both were abandoned by their mother. And they want that motherly love and everything. So when she invades Peter's mind at the end and finally meets to the Aunt May fills the void which Jean Grey's mother created. And that's why Jean actually turns good at the end. It's literally because of Aunt May. Speaking of Aunt May, there's a reference to Insomniac's Spider-Man games. You can see a good amount of this movie has taken inspiration from Spider-Man games. Like the fighting sequence, very Insomniac Spider-Man games. Even when he's fighting Hat, he jumps between them, spinning around and putting web on everyone. That's like very Insomniac Spider-Man game coded. The web grenade, that's also one of the gadgets you use in the Insomniac Spider-Man game. Also, speaking of reference, I'm pretty sure Aunt May grave is a reference to the game, because if you see Aunt May grave in this Brand New Day movie, on the grave it's written, if you help someone, you help everyone. Now MCU Aunt May never said that. Pretty sure she never said that line, if you help someone, if you help everyone. But Insomniac Aunt May actually said that if you help someone, you help everyone, and it's written on her gravestone in the game. And we know both Tom Holland and Zendaya, they're a huge fan of Insomniac Spider-Man game. I'm pretty sure, was it director or someone else, they admitted that the movie takes some stuff from Insomniac Spider-Man, which I love because I love Insomniac Spider-Man game. I've played all 3 of them on the channel, Spider-Man, Miles Morales and Spider-Man 2. I love love them. Spider-Man 2018 is one of my favorite games of all fucking time. Speaking of fighting scenes, the action was actually very good. It wasn't something which blew my fucking mind off, like the fight with the Hulk or when he's fighting the Hand, which is the main final fight. Speaking of Hulk, I wish they did a little bit more with Hulk because there really isn't much with the Bruce Banner and Hulk. Like Peter goes to Bruce Banner, he's asking about the DNA, and Hulk has a device on his hand which keeps his DNA in check, and so Peter also want to make one for himself, and he talks about making a universal device which can suppress anyone's power. That's exactly what he used to stop Jean Grey. Spider-Man vs. Hulk fight was pretty cool, but then Hulk just calms down and that's it for his role. There is a moment where Banner realizes who Spider-Man is, because as soon as Spider-Man talks about the universal device, it looks like in his eyes that he realized that it's the kid who was asking me about all those questions. But that's about it. Like, we don't really get much stuff. After Infinity War, which was 2018, 8 years later, we are now seeing the Hulk again. He just gets his ass beat by Spider-Man and just like, alright, peace out. I don't want to kill anyone. I wish they did more with this character. Funny, Punisher was good. MJ, Ned, they both were good. I wish Ned got a little bit of more attention, but MJ stuff was good. Like, she does find out about Peter and all that, and because she reads the letter which he wrote to her, he accidentally forgot it, and she read it, and she literally said like, I cannot love you. Like, I'm just not the girl anymore. My memories are gone. I don't even know who you are. She says like she can't really love him, and he understands it, and then they go home, and then he gets to hang out with Ned and everything. We also see like a female police officer who's like on a good term with Spider-Man. I was thinking for a moment, like, is she gonna die? Is she supposed to be his Captain Stacy? There's a police officer he's on a really good terms with, and the only police officer Spider-Man is on good terms with, that's Captain Stacy. So I was like, is she supposed to be his Captain Stacy? She can still die in the upcoming movie, so we don't know. We have 2 more Tom Holland movies, so it can happen. The swinging scenes were good too. I just wish we got a little bit more of those. What we got was good. There's like a first-person POV when he's swinging and everything. Like, the swinging is good. At the start of the movie, we also got to see like a good amount of street level stuff, like him fighting Scorpion, him fighting Tombstone. That's literally why I like him. Not because he fights flashy villains or he saves the whole city from getting blown up. I like him because he's actually down in the streets helping the average people. The actual villain was the fucking head of the damage control guy, and he's on loose now. He's like one of those kinds of villain where his intentions are good, but he's doing them in a very fucking wrong way. Like, he just randomly kidnapped Jean's sister Sarah and experimented on her till she fucking died. Even though his intentions are good, he says like, your power is really good, we can use this power for a very greater purpose. This power shouldn't be in the hand of you kid. So he's trying to replicate her power. He escapes at the end of the movie, so I don't even know if they have any plan for him or not. Even the name of the movie is like very good, like Brand New Day. At first glance you will think like it's talking about a post No Way Home, like the brand new day is Peter's new life, but it's actually not. The brand new day actually refers to Peter new starting at the end of the movie, not the start of the movie, but his new beginning after this movie, when he finally realizes how he can't do things alone. He needs people around him. By the end of the movie, both him and Jean comes to the realization, we can't do this alone. We need people around us. He literally tells her like, trust me, you can't do things alone. We literally cannot. I tried that for the last 4 years. It just doesn't work. So the title Brand New Day, it actually refers to Peter new beginning at the end of the movie. And also the whole scene at the end was very wholesome when like he gets shot by Punisher's bullet and they have to take him to the hospital, and a bunch of people are outside the hospitals like all day, all night. They're like cheering for Spider-Man. There's like a funny scene of Frank wearing the mask to pretend that he's Spider-Man so that Peter can go home safely without any distractions. And he's actually standing in the crowd and he's seeing people around him. They all are his fans. They all appreciate his work. So like he realizes like he's not alone in this. And also his like final scene where he meets Ned at the end of the movie and they like start doing their handshake and Ned is doing it on instinct. And Peter says, hey, I'm Peter. And he smiles. Ned smiles for a moment and he's like, Peter. Because previously in the movie, MJ actually calls Spider-Man Peter in front of Ned. And he's like, Spider-Man's name is Peter? So I'm pretty sure he realizes that Peter is Spider-Man at the end of the movie. I'm pretty sure he put the pieces together. Both him and Banner, they both realized like who's Spider-Man and what's his real identity. Also on a side note, was this movie sponsored by Samsung or some shit? There was so many Samsung phone in this movie. Everyone is using Samsung. There's so many S-series phone. Like, the police officers I mentioned, her kids have a S-series Samsung phone. The NPCs are walking around with an S-series Samsung phone. The main character, Peter, he uses a Samsung flip phone. Ned has a Samsung fold phone. Like, I don't pay attention to the sponsor of the movie. I'm something of a tech guy myself, so like I just couldn't ignore all these Samsung all over the screen. But anyway, overall movie very, very, very fucking good. I loved it very much. My whole time watching it was very funny. If you ignore the 3 kids who were causing mayhem, it's tied with Spider-Noir as the best live action piece of media for Spider-Man. Even though this movie has insane hype, I don't think it's overhyped. It gave me everything which I like about Spider-Man. His struggles as Peter Parker, him being lonely, the street level stuff. At the start of the movie, he says, sometimes Spider-Man has to do things which hurt puts Peter Parker. And at the end of the movie, when Jean Grey asks him, "What are you? Are you Peter Parker or are you Spider-Man?" He says, "I'm both," and then he starts fighting the Hand. That's him coming to a conclusion like, I have to live both of my life. I can't just fuck Peter's life for because Spider-Man. Spider-Man, Superman, D-Batman, like all these new generation comic book movies, they're like giving me hope for the most superhero movies. Like in recent time, all these movies just randomly came out and they're so much true to the source material. They're so much true to their character. I'm just in love with the superhero movies right now. Next time we're probably gonna see when Lantern's first episode will come out, or maybe Avatar, so I don't know. But anyway, I just want to make a little review about Spider-Man Brand New Day. Till then, yeah, see ya.